Welcome back to the Potential Difference Research Lab. In this demonstration today, we're going to be examining Lenz's law, and we're going to be observing Lenz's law in operation in this generator. And one of the things that we want to focus on is that Lenz's law, which falls under the law of conservation of energy, which says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, doesn't apply in electricity and magnetism. And Lenz's law itself disproves the law of conservation of energy. Lenz's law itself, if you know how to read it, actually proves that energy can be created. And that's what we're going to be basically exposing in this video. So Lenz's law, again, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, Lenz's law is a law of physics that was formulated in 1834. Lenz's law is essentially Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And Lenz's law states that the direction of the current induced in a conductor by a changing magnetic field, and on our prototype, that's the rotating magnetic field, is such that the magnetic field created by the induced current opposes the initial changing magnetic field. So the Lenz's law expresses how energy is created and how that energy performs negative work in electric generator operation. So if we understand what opposes means to actively resist, and in an electric generator, the active resistance is negative work. So, and the work energy principle states that all work in any direction requires a source of energy. So Lenz's law, within Lenz's law, the magnetic field created is actually the electromagnetic field energy, which is created by the induced current, performs negative work and opposes the initial changing magnetic field. Performs negative work and opposes the initial changing magnetic field, reducing the kinetic energy of the changing magnetic field. So what we're going to see in the demonstration is that when the conventional generator coil is connected to the load, the electromagnetic field energy created by the induced current will perform negative work, and this negative work will reduce the kinetic energy of the rotor, and you'll be able to see that on the tachometer here. Now, the problem that the issue at hand is that the global scientific community has been telling people now for almost 200 years that an electric generator can perform work without energy, and that's a direct violation of the work energy principle, and it's simply not true. So what we're going to do is fire this up, and then we're going to show how electromagnetic field energy that's created can perform negative work in reducing the kinetic energy of the system, and also how it can be used to perform positive work, how the electromagnetic field energy that's created can be used to perform positive work. So we'll bring our generator up to speed here. So we're going to bring our generator up to speed. We're going to bring it to a steady state speed, which is rotational equilibrium, whereby the net torque in the drive shaft is 0 and the mechanical power in the drive shaft is also 0. Okay, so our system is operating at a no-load steady state speed of 3,480 RPM, and we are at rotational equilibrium. And what we're going to do now is we're going to place the conventional generator coil on load, and we are going to observe system deceleration and a reduction of the kinetic energy of the rotor, and the current scientific community wants you to believe that you have the ability to reduce the kinetic energy of that rotor, which is turning at close to 3,500 RPM, that you have the ability to reduce the kinetic energy of that rotor to slow it down without energy. And that's just not possible. So we're going to load the conventional coil. As you can see, the speed of the system has dropped. The kinetic energy of the rotor has been reduced, and we have current flowing in our conventional coil, and the magnetic field energy that's created by the induced current is performing negative work, and it's opposing the initial changing magnetic field. So if we reread Lenz's law correctly, the direction of the current induced in a conductor by a changing magnetic field is such that the created electromagnetic field energy performs negative work and actively opposes the changing magnetic field, reducing its kinetic energy. So we'll put it back on to no load again. So now we have no current flowing, no current being induced in our conventional generator coil, and we have no electromagnetic field energy being created, and our system is running at equilibrium at steady state no load speed. So now we'll connect the coil and we'll allow current to flow through the coil, and we will create our electromagnetic field energy. So now the current flowing in the coil through through the light bulb is creating magnetic field energy, and that magnetic field energy is performing negative work. And we can see the load current sine wave for the conventional coils current. So now we're going to use the electromagnetic field energy that is created around the Regenex generator coil that's also in the prototype. And we're going to use that created energy to perform positive work and increase the kinetic energy of the system. So keep an eye on the speed of the system, and also you can keep an eye on the power that's going to the prime mover. The work energy principle says that the increase in kinetic energy is equal to the net work performed. So if this number doesn't go up when the system is accelerating, then that means that the energy, in order to increase the kinetic energy, is coming from an alternative source other than the prime mover. So now our system speed has gone up. The prime mover input has gone down. We are using the electromagnetic field energy that is created by the induced current, and we are using that electromagnetic field energy to perform positive work and increase the kinetic energy of the system. So Lenz's law can be reversed. Newton's third law for electric generators doesn't apply. The law of conservation of energy doesn't apply. The law of conservation of energy is false, because clearly we're demonstrating that energy is being created. Even Lenz's law explains that energy is being created, and that it's performing negative work, and we're demonstrating negative and positive work, and that's about it. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more. Cheers.